So when we talk about the Hadoop file system, right, Hadoop ecosystem component, Hadoop ecosystem component. So we have the two core components, right, SDFS and mapping. That will come by default with the Hadoop when you install Hadoop. Okay, when you install Hadoop, so these will come by default. Okay, by default. But when you're going for the other ecosystem component like Hive, School, so you need to install separately. Okay. So Hive is a SQL data warehouse tool. SQL data warehouse tool. Okay. And mostly use the Hive is for the SQL queries, right? So this is originally created by the Facebook. Okay. Originally created by Facebook. Okay. And later it is given to the Apache community. Later is given to the Apache community. So now we say Hive. Now the name is community, and now it's called the Apache Hive. So Hive is basically a SQL data warehouse tool. So there are many other SQL data warehouse tools there, like Cloud SQL data warehouse tool. So Cloud SQL data warehouse tool is um, like Snowflake. Okay, Cloud SQL data warehouse Snowflake is there. Okay, and other SQL data warehouse tool in the AWS cloud, Azure cloud. So every data, like every cloud is providing the one cloud SQL data warehouse. So in the AWS is the Redshift. If you heard about Redshift, so Redshift is the same SQL data warehouse tool. So what is this SQL data warehouse tool is, right? So SQL data warehouse tool is doing the data modeling. Like we have a fact table, dimension tables, right? So fact is called master table and dimensions are the transactions table. Fact is a master and dimensions are the transactions. So generally, anybody's asking anything. Okay. So fact is master and transactions tables are the dimensions table. Okay, so master is transaction tables are associated with the master table, right? So we can say one master can have multiple transactions table, right? So one master can have multiple transactions table. So in the there is a schema concept is there, star schema and star schema, snowflake schema, galaxy schema. These are the data modeling concept and data warehousing concept. Okay. First, we are learning. This is the theoretical part, but I want to tell the actual Hive concept, like SQL queries concept, right? SQL queries concept, like create database, right? Create table. Most of the people who have SQL background or they have any SQL query language knowledge, so they know create database, create. So they are the DDL, DML, DCL, different types of data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language. Okay, data control language. Okay, so these are the different queries we can do. Either we are creating a table, we are creating a constraint. So but in Hive there is no primary key concept. Hive is no primary key. Okay, so that you remember. Hive is this is the one big difference. Hive is not. But now the question comes: so how the duplicate will be maintained? Because Hive is we are doing analytics of the historical data. So transactional data we have the SQL database, but Hive is meant for analytics. Analytics. So if you heard about the terms OLAP and OLTP, there most of the time people ask questions: what is OLAP? What is OLTP? So online transaction processing, online analytical processing. So Hive is meant for online analytical processing, like historical data is there, and you want to do analytics on top of the data. So online analytical processing. So Hive is meant for the historical data. And online transaction processing data, the SQL DBs data, right? Oracle, MySQL. These are the transactions. Okay. But Hive, the main use is even you can store Hive data because data is data, right? You are tabular data. So Hive is giving also the tabular representation of the data, same the SQL DB. But Hive is supporting different file formatting. So you will see Hive is having different file format. File format data are there, right? So CSV file you can load the data, JSON you can load data. But these files are on Hadoop file system, but the data you will see in the table is a tabular because data format can be anything. It could be a CSV, JSON, XML. Okay, Avro file format is there, Parquet file format is there, ORC is there. So I will talk about these file formats. These are specific to the Hive. These are the compressed file format, and these are faster to read, faster to write format. Okay, so but this CSV, JSON, XML, these are the general text file format, like human readable format. Like you can read the data easily, right, in the CSV file, JSON file, XML file. Okay. So Hive architecture, we go to the Hive architecture, like what are the components are there in Hive. So if I see the Hive component, so Hive is having Hive CLI, Hive command line interface. So Hive is having a Hive shell. You know, right? Python is having the shell. Okay. Scala is having the shell. Shell means like something you write in the like SQL queries shell is there. So shell means like something command you write, select count star from table. So you will get immediately your result. Select count star from table, like my table. And you will see, you will get the count is 100. Okay. So this is called the interactive shell. And Hive is providing the Hive CLI. So another component in the Hive is having metadata store. Metadata store. What does metadata store? Metadata store is basically storing the data about data. Storing data about data. Which data? The storing table data. Table data, metadata. Tables, data, metadata. Metadata. Metadata is stored. What kind of metadata can be there for tables? Like I say, what type of table it is, whether it's a table type. So table name, table name, table type, table name, table type, table columns, column type, column name and column type, column name, column type. So these all information is stored in some meta store DB table. And this meta store DB is separate from the Hive. So Hive is storing the actual data, but meta store DB is storing the data about data. So Hive has provided, and the what is the table type? Table type could be whether your table is a internal table or external table. So there are two type of table. I will tell the difference. The internal table is created in the Hive warehouse directory, and external table is outside the warehouse directory. Okay, so there is some differences there. I will go with that, and this all data is stored table name and column type, table column type. So this all information is stored in the meta store DB, and this meta store DB, like when I say it comes along with Hive. When you are installing Hive, it is a very small, like a 10 MB data, very small. So this database name is called Derby. So Derby is a Apache Derby. This is also Apache product, Apache Derby. It's like a SQL DB. Okay, same like a MySQL, Oracle, like that. Even you can configure any SQL database. You can configure as a meta store DB. You can configure. So that option is also there. Suppose you want to change your meta store DB as Oracle, MySQL, you can change. Okay, but by default is a Derby. So this is a second like a component of the architecture component, okay, of the Hive. And Hive is having like compiler. Hive is having internally compiler, because you know, right, in the database, SQL database is having the SQL database engine is there. Database engine is there. Compiler is there. Parser is there. So parser is parsing the query. So there is a Hive parser. Similar thing is there, because see, ultimately Hive is also processing the SQL query, right? So it's almost the same architecture of the any SQL database, right? Because it is doing the same type of job, right? Because it is doing the manipulation on the table data, right? Files data. So when I say like in the SQL DB is also having the compiler, parser, database engine, right? So same thing is here. But here is in the Hive, the job is like when you are writing a SQL query, this SQL query is parsed. After parsing, it will be changed into MapReduce query. Basically, here is we understood, right, what is a MapReduce. MapReduce is having the two core component, map and reduce. So finally, this query will be changed into MapReduce program, and then it will be executed internally. So we are not worried about like how it will be changed. So that will be done by the hive. Okay. But this is not happening in the SQL databases. SQL databases, they are directly executing the SQL query. But the difference is hive is not for the small data. Hive is for the large amount of distributed data. So that is the reason when you are using hive, you are processing a large amount of data. That's the reason this MapReduce is very efficient when you are processing a large amount of data, right? GBs or terabyte data. But the same thing, if you try in the SQL, it will not be faster. For the small data, TVs are faster because it is directly executing queries. But in case of Hive, right, so it is using the MapReduce plan, right? Basically, it is compiling, parsing, and database engine is converting into the MapReduce. And this MapReduce is run, and finally the data is returned. Okay. So these are the various components. Another component is there in the, so MapReduce is not component. MapReduce is not any part of the, it is just converted by the database. Okay. So compiler is one which is compiling the query, the compilation of the query, like checking the syntax. Compilation of query means checking syntax of the query. Because if query syntax, like suppose this count, you have not put the bracket, right? By mistake, you forget. Generally, nobody will do like, but sometime you forget the bracket. So it will be compilation fail, right? It will say the count star syntax is wrong, something, right? So that will be done by this compiling. Parser is like once the query is good, right? Query is good, and it need to be changed into different pieces. It will break, right? What is the from part? What is the select part? Any group by query is there, right? So whatever SQL queries you run in the SQL database, you can run in the Hive. So Hive can run any type of SQL queries, right? Okay. So Hive parser is parsing the query and converting into logical plan. Converting into logical plan. So logical plan and the physical plan. Okay. So this plan is basically dividing your query, divided in the query into different parts, and finally the database will be converting into MapReduce. So MapReduce is finally executed by the MapReduce framework, will execute the MapReduce job, and that will be giving you output. Okay. So in Hive architecture, there is one more component is there, Hive script server. So this will be very useful when you are getting the data from some different